with the Titans.
Yep.
That was a thing that actually happened, Scott. I don't know how many people remember that, but Marcus Mariota winning a playoff game in Kansas City just seems wild. But it happened. He's not afraid of big moments. He's shown that previously. And obviously the Commanders are very comfortable with Marcus Mariota behind center. The problem is the Chiefs look like a machine right now. Getting Rashee Rice back so shortly after they got Xavier Worthy back, man, it looks like the Chiefs of old. It looks like the Tyreek Hill Chiefs right now. I don't care that they have 3 losses. The eye test tells me they're one of the best teams in football.
This, of course, is By-Mageddon week, Ross, which means Arizona, Detroit, Jacksonville, the Rams, the Raiders, and Seattle all have the week off. That means that people on their fantasy teams don't have guys to plug in, but it also means a break for some of these teams. Is one of those teams going to benefit more than any other from this bye week?
I don't know that I've ever heard By-Mageddon before, but that certainly makes sense. Typically, it's the teams that are the most injured or the most need to regroup. I would say the Raiders are up there. When I'm watching an NFL game and it's 2 first downs to 29 first downs, that team needs to regroup. That team is the Raiders, and they needed Brock Bowers and guys to get healthy as well.
Well, you're flying back and forth across the country, so you need to regroup as well. Have yourself a good weekend. We'll talk next week.
Sounds great. Thank you, Scott.
That's going to do it for this edition of NFL Preview. Join us this weekend for Sunday Night Football. Ryan Rackey, Mike Golick have all the action as the Steelers host the Packers. I'll kick off the broadcast with scores and highlights from around the league on NFL Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Producer of NFL Preview, Jordan Markovic. Executive producer, Mike Eby. The Senior Vice President of Sports for Cumulus Media and Westwood One is Bruce Gilbert. Now for Ross Tucker, I'm Scott Graham. Thanks for joining us. You've been listening to NFL Preview on Westwood One.
Who will stay? Who will go? Big questions loom for the Yankees and Mets this offseason. Get the latest here. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on the Odyssey, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio app. Get breaking sports news here. WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1 New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
WFAN Sports Flash.
And the Sports Flash is sponsored by Chef IQ, precision cooking, effortless results, chefiq.com. Good morning at 8 o'clock. I'm Tony Pierno. Jackson Dart and Company will look to keep things rolling this afternoon when the Giants visit the Eagles. The rookie QB says he is eager to get his first taste of Philly.
I can't wait to go out there and compete and, kind of just feel like the hostility in the air and, the rivalry between the two organizations. It's going to be really cool, and I kind of compare it to like an SEC rivalry. So I'm really excited for the atmosphere. I know it's going to be intense, but just excited for it.
Since Dart was named QB1, the Giants are averaging 25 points per game over the last 4 weeks. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. with coverage here on The Fan beginning at 11 a.m. In other news, according to Adam Schefter, the Eagles are not expected to move A.J. Brown ahead of the November 4th trade deadline. The mystery is finally over. After a week of secrecy, we now know who will be under center for the Jets this afternoon. Tyrod Taylor was ruled out yesterday with a knee injury, so Justin Fields will make the start against the Bengals. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock. Last night in Toronto, the Dodgers were seeking to avoid an 0-2 hole against the Blue Jays.
The ball and 2 strikes. Yamamoto steps back, twirls, and fires. He sits him down with a fastball at 97 at the bottom of the zone. And Yoshinobu Yamamoto strikes out the side in the 8th inning.
The right-hander would become the first Dodger since Earl Hershiser in 1988 to throw back-to-back complete games in the postseason as L.A. downs the Blue Jays 5-1 to even up the Fall Classic at a game apiece, called courtesy of the Dodgers radio network. Game 3 is tomorrow night in L.A. College football, Rutgers recorded their first Big Ten win of the season as they beat Purdue 27-24. 51 degrees under mostly cloudy skies in Central Park, and that's what's happening. I'm Tony Pierno.
Talk New York sports here. The Fan. It's Sunday morning. Time to take a spin around the NFL. This is You Better You Bet, presented by BetMGM. Here's your host, Nick Kostos.
What's up, everybody?
NFL Sunday to you and yours. This is You Better You Bet on the Fan. Nick Kostos here with you for the next 60 minutes, talking all things betting and fantasy. Week number 8 in the National Football League. You can hit me up on Twitter at the Kostos, TAGKOSTOS. You can follow me on Instagram at the Kostos, TAGKOSTOS. We'll have some videos posted after the Giants and Jets games today. Hit me up on Instagram at the Kostos, TAGKOSTOS. And the show is on Twitter at You Better You Bet. And the show presented today and always by BetMGM. Make it legendary by downloading the BetMGM app and visiting BetMGM.com. The phone number today to chime in on bets, on fantasy, on football, 888-808-1019, 888-808-1019. All right, you know how we do. Nick Kostos and you, each and every NFL Sunday morning here on The Fan. Side total and props for every game on the board in the fastest show in all of Wagertainment. Bring it up, Eddie. Let's go. Football. For people watching on YouTube, I somehow turned my camera off. Sorry about that. The camera is back on, I think. Eddie, let me know if that's the case. You can watch the show on YouTube, on the WFAN YouTube page. Would encourage people to do that if you would like to check out my handsome face. Actually, not so much. I wake up at 5 a.m. on Sundays. I'm wearing a hat. Not looking great physically, I am this morning, but you know what? We are ready to roll on this Week 8 NFL Sunday, and it begins right now. And we start by saying, Happy Buy-Mageddon to you and yours. We've got 6 teams on bye this week. Fantasy football hellscape, where you might be starting players you might have never heard of this week with Arizona, Jacksonville, Detroit, the Raiders, the Rams, and the Seahawks on bye. That's okay. That's what I'm here for, to try and help you figure out your fantasy football lineups, help you figure out how to bet today in the National Football League. And we will start in the city of brotherly love, the home. It makes me sick to say this, but we have to call a spade a spade. We have to be honest. The home of the reigning, defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, as they get set to host our New York. Well, maybe they're not yours, but I'm a Giants fan. We got Giants fans in the audience. Our New York Football Giants. The great Bob Papa will be on the call of the Giants and the Eagles coming up later today on The Fan. The Eagles sitting right now at BetMGM as a 7.5-point home favorite. The total of the game is 44. It is my expectation that at some point before kickoff today, this number will come down to 7. We are almost there already. The juice is fully towards the Giants. I think we will close Eagles -7, or at the very least in between the two numbers, 7 and 7.5. Injury stuff here for this game, important both for the handicap of the game and fantasy football. Darius Slayton returns to the Giants in the receiving core, but the Giants going to be down a couple players in their secondary, corner Paulson Adebo, and safety Javon Holland. Brian Burns listed as questionable on the injury report. He told reporters on Friday that he will play, and that seems to be the case via the overnight tweets from NFL insiders that Brian Burns will play today for the Giants, and he has obviously been magnificent this season rushing the passer. For the Eagles, former Giant Adoree Jackson is out, and when he plays, does he? Center Cam Jurgens is out. We'll talk about that and why that's a big deal going up against this Giants defensive front. And A.J. Brown, this is the big one. A.J. Brown is out. A.J. Brown will not play today for the Eagles. If you have him in your fantasy football lineup, get him out. He is out. He will not play today. And I was just saying to my guy Zoo, Eddie Arzuman, hashtag on the other side of the glass, as I do the show from an office in Staten Island, New York, not from the studio in the Fan. I can't see Zoo, but somewhere he's behind glass, and someone else is on the other side of it. Maybe it's our guy Tony Pierno, but it is not me looking at Zoo on the other side of the glass. But I said to Zoo on the other side of the glass, man, this report made me laugh this morning from ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter. The Eagles have no plans to trade star wide receiver A.J. Brown. Wow. What a shock. Team trying to win Super Bowl won't trade best receiver. Wow, you would have knocked me over with a feather. Can't believe it. A.J. Brown might be a pain in the ass. He might be a knucklehead. He might be a diva. He's still one of, the 5 best receivers in the league. Of course they're not trading him. Get the hell out of here with this nonsense. I don't care how many cryptic, insane, stupid tweets A.J. Brown makes. I mean, he could Costanza this. Take the Eagles Lombardi trophy from last year. Drive that son of a bitch around the parking lot outside Lincoln Financial Field. They're still not trading him. Why would you trade him when you're trying to win a Super Bowl? Makes absolutely no sense. And I got to be honest with everybody. I'm a little nervous for this game as a Giants fan. The Eagles coming off that. We bet the Eagles last week, or I did at least. The Eagles coming off that win in Minnesota. Jalen Hurts walk into the locker room after he burns that Viking secondary for over 300 yards, saying, "We're not losing anymore. We're not losers anymore." Message received. Little concerned here. After the way last week ended for our New York Football Giants. I'm 42 years old. I'm married. I have a young daughter. My perspective on things has changed, thankfully, when it comes to sports. Because if I'm 16 years old and I watched that game last week, the way I was when I was 16, I don't know if I would have gone to school for 3 days that week. What an absolutely tilting and crushing loss. I mean, I'm 42 and I felt like putting my fist through the wall watching that game last week, watching that pathetic fourth quarter against the Denver Broncos. A terrible collapse by this Giants defense. And that loser kicker, Jude. Hey, Jude, go back to London. We have cut your ass. What a loser. 2 extra points. And I've been saying for years, locally here in the New York area, and we appreciate all the people listening and watching nationally. Locally, at least here in New York, WPIX, Channel 11, whatever, has been running Seinfeld reruns for 30 years, right? At 11 and 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And usually they'll have maybe it's Friends or 2.5 Men, but they kind of shouttle in the sitcoms around after Seinfeld, right? Seinfeld 11:30. Here's what I think. Honestly, they might want to replace Seinfeld because the greatest situational comedy in the history of situational comedies, and this wasn't even marketed or supposed to be a situational comedy, is Giants off-season Hard Knocks from last year, which was supposed to be a drama or a documentary, but is actually maybe, if you look at it through a certain lens, the funniest television show in the history of television. Unintentionally funny, where you laugh at this team. And maybe the single funniest moment was Brian Dable making the pitch to hire Shane Bowen as defensive coordinator because one of the years Bowen was in Tennessee, they had a good yards per carry average as a defense. Let's ignore context. Who cares? What were the players? Who were the opponents? Were they a pass? No. Let's just look at yards per carry. Oh, yeah. How's it going? Brian Burns walks into the locker room screaming and cursing about dropping 8 on the final drive, allowing Bo Nix to hit Marvin Mims and Cortland Sutton to set up the game-winning field goal. What an absolute disgrace and fiasco from our Giants last week. And that's what losers do. Losers lose. And I'm not insinuating Jackson Dart's a loser, but right now he's got losers around him. And like I said after the game last week, and I'm sorry to say this, we'll talk about this game in a second. Season's over for the Giants. Schedule's impossible. Like, they're going to win like 5 games, and I think what's more than likely to happen is Jackson Dart next year, year 2, with a new coach and a new GM that didn't pick him. This is what bad organizations do. And I hate to say that, and I don't want that to be the case, but how could it not be at this point after the way that went? Now, I give you that to give you this. This game is set up for the Giants to keep it close. And the reason why I say that, it's actually nothing to do with A.J. Brown being out. Cam Jurgens being out, to me, is a way bigger deal. A couple weeks ago, Thursday Night Football, when the Giants wrecked the Eagles, which was awesome. That seems like it was 10 years ago when the Giants won that game 34-17. Landon Dickerson doesn't play in the game. And Brett Toth, like the planet Hoth from Empire Strikes Back. Shout out to the best Star Wars movie. Rogue One's the second best. He's got to play in the game, and the Giants kind of run roughshod over the interior of the Eagles' offensive line. This Philly offensive line is not even close to what it was last year. Not even close. And I think that's the main reason Saquon Barkley hasn't gotten rolling yet. You know, Steen in for Mekhi Becton, who's in Los Angeles, who can't stop getting hurt for the Chargers. He's not very good. Toth's not very good. And I think like that's an area of weakness that the Giants' defensive front can actually attack and penetrate here. At 7.5, I'm not going to make the bet. Like, I'm not going to bet this game, side or total. I may not have a prop bet. We'll talk about props in a second. If I had to bet the game, I'd actually take the 7.5 with the Giants for that reason, that I do think the Giants can affect the Philly offensive line, maybe get to Jalen Hurts. But if I'm being real, I am pessimistic about the way this game's going to go and how games moving forward are going to go. And it's not, again, that's not a commentary on Jackson Dart, who's been good. I'm not going to poo-poo what Jackson Dart has done. Just, I don't know how you can feel great about the way this is going to go for the Giants with the schedule being what it is. It is absolutely brutal. And I don't trust the coach, and I don't trust the defensive coordinator, and I don't really trust anyone or anything. And if I were 16, I'd hate my life. I would make a joke about hating my life now, but it's not true, and people I love are listening. I love my life, and I love all of you. So Giants plus 7.5 if I had to make the bet. As far as yardage props go, I don't really love any of these. Like, everything just looks right to me. If I had to take a look at a couple, Devontae Smith is at 74.5. That number's been bet up over the course of the week. Obviously, once A.J. Brown goes out, the Devontae Smith number goes up. If I were to bet Devontae Smith, I would just bet 100 yards or more and look to get a plus money price as opposed to over 74.5. And for the Giants now with Darius Slayton back, you know, Slayton will probably see a lot of Quinyon Mitchell, who's Philly's best corner. Wan'Dale Robinson to me looks, here's to you, Wan'Dale Robinson. 49.5 is the number for him. Anytime touchdowns. I think now with Slayton back, we will see less like 2 and 3 tight end sets from the Giants, which I think maybe like we see less Daniel Bellinger, but we won't know until the game starts. You know, Jalen Hyatt and Lil Jordan Humphrey, both at big numbers, may be worth like beer money bets on those two players. All right. Falcons and the Dolphins in Atlanta. Big piece of injury news came down yesterday. That was a surprise if you missed it. Atlanta's a 7-point favorite. The total's 44.5. Michael Penix Jr. is out for Atlanta with a bone bruise in his leg. Kirk Cousins will start for the Falcons. Again, Kirk Cousins is starting today for the Atlanta Falcons. If for some reason you were starting Michael Penix with 6 bye weeks this week in fantasy football, he is out. Kirk Cousins will play. Another piece of injury news for Atlanta that came down yesterday, star wide receiver Drake London downgraded to questionable with a hip injury. London is still listed in all the prop markets. None of the overnight tweets seem to insinuate that Drake London was going to miss. I am operating under the assumption that Drake London plays today for Atlanta. But if you've got London in fantasy, and obviously like he's owned in every single league, and you've got him on your team, make sure you're checking at 11:30 a.m. Eastern when the actives and inactives come out, or listen to my show nationally. You bet 11 to 1, and just make sure Drake London's playing, because if he's not, obviously you got to get him out of your lineup. For Miami, Darren Waller is out for the Dolphins, just like Giants fans everywhere are nodding. So let's talk about Cousins replacing Penix. If you listen to me on this show, week 1, when the Falcons played the Bucs, or listen to me on the weekday edition of the show at any point this summer, you know that I was super bullish, the Penix Mightier, on Michael Penix Jr. And about halfway into his first year as a starter, I don't want to say I was definitely wrong because it's still early. But Penix has been extremely inconsistent, as have the Atlanta Falcons, right? When the Falcons 1 week can beat the Buffalo Bills and dominate the Buffalo Bills and look awesome in doing so, and the next can get shut down by a Niners defense without any of its good players, like they did on Sunday Night Football a week ago. It's hard to trust the Falcons. I do think that's something you can say, though, and we'll see. It'll get proven out when the game starts today. And I don't like to say this as someone that was really high on Penix coming into the year. I think Kirk Cousins is going to be an upgrade for Falcons pass catchers. Penix is scattershot. His accuracy isn't always there, and he has like an aversion to throwing the ball over the middle of the field, which is where you're supposed to win in the NFL. Like that's the easy spot. That's like the easy button for quarterbacks. He's making all the tough throws, and like God bless him for that. Like take some easy throws, dude. It's like instead of layups, he wants to shoot Steph Curry shots from half court every single possession. Cousins is going to take the layups over the middle of the field. And for Miami, like the reports, like Diana Rossini of The Athletic, and she does a great job. I'm just saying, I just think things like this are funny. That Mike McDaniel hasn't lost the locker room. You know what that tells me? They're a bunch of pathetic losers, man. And every time Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa opens his mouth, I'm screaming at the television. Just stop talking. Shut up, please. Like this past week. Hey, Tua, why didn't you throw to Jalen Waddle more when you got wrecked by the Browns last week in Cleveland? Tua's answer: because I'm not that tall and I can't see over the line of scrimmage. Why don't you just put a sign, get a scarlet letter B for bench me? That's what he should be saying. And I think he is in line for an in-game benching here if things go south for Miami. And it would not be Zach Wilson that comes in. It would be the 7th-round rookie out of Texas, Quinn Ewers, would play for the Miami Dolphins. If you want to bet this game, I don't think you can ever bet how about this? If you want to bet Miami, I would just bet the Dolphins to win. And just Kirk Cousins falls flat on his face, and the Falcons are super inconsistent. I don't know if Miami loses by 3. I think the Dolphins win or they lose by 1,000. If this is going to close 7 minus 110, I'd consider Atlanta. 6.5, I don't think we ever get there, but I would definitely bet the Falcons there. I'm going to bet Falcons minus 9.5, minus 13.5, minus 16.5. I think if the Falcons win, they win by 1 billion points today. Yardage prop. How about with Kirk Cousins back in the lineup, Darnell, when you get caught between the Mooney and New York City. I know it's crazy, but it's true. Darnell Mooney, over 42.5 receiving yards. If for some reason Drake London does not play, Casey Washington, I think, would be his one-for-one replacement in the anytime touchdown market. And with the Dolphins down a couple tight ends, not just one, but it's Darren Waller and Julian Hill, former Giant Greg Dulcich, anytime touchdown for the Miami Dolphins. All right, Jets fans, let's talk about your pathetic team. My team stinks too, but just saying. The Jets in Cincinnati today against the Bengals. The 0-7 Jets, I should add. Sorry. That is their record. Cincy, a 6.5-point home favorite. The total 44.5. In case you missed it, Justin Fields will start at quarterback for the Jets. Tyrod Taylor ruled out. And this has been, and look, the Giants have been really pathetic. I'm not saying this to Jets fans are great and loyal and smart and awesome. This is one of the stupidest organizations, maybe the dumbest organization in all of sports. And I think you all agree with that. I'm not poking fun. That's just the truth, right? This has been one of the dumbest weeks ever for one of the dumbest organizations ever. Woody Johnson throwing his quarterback. This wasn't just like throwing Justin Fields under the bus. This was like Sopranos Season 2, Richie Aprile to Beansy. Like, runs him over, backs it up, runs him over again, runs him over a third time, and then says to the body, veal parmesan, F you. That was Woody Johnson to Justin Fields. Now everyone wants to kill Aaron Glenn because Aaron Glenn wouldn't name the starting quarterback. Oh, he thinks he's Parcells. Like, what do you want him to say? Like, I'll defend Aaron Glenn a little bit here. Like, what do you want him to say? Like, he is trying to gain a competitive advantage. You want to criticize Aaron Glenn? Like, we can have that conversation. He's been brutal. And Tanner Eggstrand doesn't seem to have a clue as the offensive coordinator. That I don't think you can criticize Aaron Glenn for. Brady Cook will be the Jets' backup quarterback today with Tyrod Taylor out. Also, Breece Hall's going to play. Mason Taylor's going to play. Trey Hendrickson's going to play for Cincinnati. Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson are going to miss the game. So I'm on with BT and Sal every Friday at 12:40 p.m. Eastern, and they asked me, hey, what do you think of this game? How could you bet the Jets? And I said, well, here's the reason why I might bet the Jets. Because the Bengals might have the worst defense in the league. Cincinnati's defense is absolutely dreadful. And this is not about the Jets. It's about, can a team with maybe the worst defense in the league be favored by almost 7 against any other team, even the winless Jets? A couple years ago, because Justin Fields stinks, and I've been saying this since the Jets signed him, and like Jets said, oh, no, he's great. Okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's great. He's awesome. A couple of years ago, when Fields was getting yo-yoed in and out of the lineup by the Chicago Bears, and he finally got his jet, he was going to play. I remember having this conversation on this show and on the weekday edition of the show. Fields is going to do what he knows best. Like this is probably his. If he bombs in this game, he's done as the starting quarterback. Everyone knows it. What does he do best? Hint: not throw the ball. He's going to run. I think he's going to run a lot in this game. And the Bengals' defense is trash. I might actually bet the Jets. It doesn't make me feel good to say that, but I actually might click the button of Jets plus 6.5. It is never the Bengals here. And again, the reason why is not because I think the Jets are good. It's because the Bengals' defense is horrific, and they're favored by... You need Cincinnati with the worst defense to win by 7 to cash your bet. Maybe it happens. I wouldn't bet on it. Justin Fields over rushing yards for me. I'd take a look at Tyler Johnson in the anytime touchdown market for the Jets. And with the Bengals down a couple tight ends, how about their 4th-string tight end, now 2nd-string tight end, Cam, the Grandy Man can. Oh, the Grandy Man. John Sterling does it better than me. Cam Grandy for the Cincinnati Bengals. Beer or pizza money, please, on these touchdown bets. Patriots and the Browns in New England. The Belichick Bowl. Patriots, a touchdown favorite at home. The total is 40.5. David Njoku is expected to play for the Cleveland Browns. How about New England? Man, this is like insult to injury to Jets fans. Let's talk about how bad the Jets are. Now let's talk about how good the Patriots are. 5-2. And as I tried to tell everyone before the season, and you know because you listen, the next great quarterback in the NFL, it's gonna be May. Drake May's awesome. 5-2. 3 straight road wins coming into this game, and they are covering spreads. Now, this will be an everlasting love. This will be the best defense the Patriots have played this season with the Cleveland Browns. So I could see why people might want to take the Browns in this game. But I think where the Browns are going to run into trouble is I don't think they're going to be able to score in this game. Like how the Browns move the ball on offense is with the run game, with Quinshon Judkins, who is phenomenal. Patriots' run defense kicks ass. They're allowing 3.2 yards per carry this season. And then you've got Dylan Gabriel throw. I mean, come on. He's worse Tua Tagovailoa, and maybe a lot worse than Tua. And the Browns' defense is good, but it does allow explosive plays in the passing game. And that's Drake May's specialty. Down the field to Kayshawn. Booty, 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 rocking everywhere. Shout out to Bubba Sparks. And to Stephon, can you digs it? Sucker. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. If this goes down to 6.5, easy click on the Patriots. goes up to 7.5. We could tease New England. I would only bet the Patriots here. Patriots as a money line piece. I would not bet the Cleveland Browns. Let's go Diggs over 57.5 receiving yards. I don't hate Booty over, but he's got to go over like on 1 or 2 receptions. He doesn't get a ton of targets, but they're all down the field. Anytime touchdowns. Oh my God. Return of the Mac Hollins. And I just want to throw these 2 names out there. 2 Patriots rookie receivers who, look, like I've bet them in certain weeks, and sometimes they don't get targets. Efton Chisholm, who's the latest in the line of undersized white slot receivers for the Patriots, Efton Chisholm, and then 3rd-round rookie Kyle Williams. I may toss a couple bucks on them, but I mean, it's up to you if you want to or not. Bills and the Panthers in Carolina. Buffalo, a touchdown favorite on the road off the bye. Total here has been bet up to 47. Bryce Young, not expected to start. Looks like the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton, starts for the Carolina Panthers. Josh Palmer out for the Bills, and Buffalo down a number of defensive starters yet again. How about the Panthers at 4-3? Buffalo's 4-2. That's wild. Now the Bills are better, but just saying. This is actually my favorite bet of the week. I love the Panthers here. Now, I bet Panthers plus 7.5, the number 7. I still like it at 7. 7.5, obviously you like it a lot more. And the reason why, Buffalo's defense stinks. It is not good, and they play the Chiefs next week, and Kansas City's going to beat that ass. Just want to get ahead of that now. Buffalo's defense stinks. And Carolina is going to do to Buffalo's defense what the FBI is doing to the NBA. Hit him with the Rico. Rico Dowdle, Chuba Hubbard. Like Carolina runs the ball well, Buffalo can't stop the run. And it's going to be the reason why the Bills not only don't make it to the Super Bowl, they're going to get bounced early in the AFC playoffs. For as good as Josh Allen is, and he's great, this defense absolutely stinks. Give me the Panthers plus the points here. I think Carolina might win this game. I'll take Carolina plus the 7. 7.5, much better if you can get it. Yardage props. Worth noting, and I'll do this more in the fantasy segment, Xavier Legette has a great connection with Andy Dalton, but I would like to look, because the number's so low, at Tony Montana's favorite NFL receiver, Jalen Coker. Over 20.5 receiving yards. You know how we play it with Buffalo. They play 3 running backs, James Cook, Ty Johnson, Ray Davis. We play the one at the longest odds to score. Today, that is Ray Davis. Ravens and the Bears in Baltimore. Baltimore coming off the bye absolutely has to win this game at 1-5. Baltimore, a 2.5-point home favorite. Total is 45. Okay. Now, I hope you've been listening to this, you've been listening to the show long enough. You follow me long enough. You listen, you watch the weekday edition of the show. You should hear that Ravens are 2.5 against the Bears at home and know that Lamar Jackson's out. Because otherwise they'd be like a touchdown 7.5-point favorite. In case you don't know, yes, Lamar Jackson is out for the Ravens. And yes, the Ravens attempted some insane chicanery with the injury report on Friday when they listed Lamar Jackson as a full participant in practice and then downgraded him to a limited participant in practice yesterday, which is honestly, they should be docked a draft pick for this. Because, in a week where, sports betting has been put under the microscope with what's gone on in the NBA, you can't have this where Lamar Jackson's a full participant in practice and you've got NFL insiders, and I'm not criticizing them. They're going off the information they get, all saying that Lamar's probably going to play. I thought the same thing because he practiced in full, and then you get, actually, he ran the scout team in full. I guarantee you he didn't. Because if he ran the scout team in full, he'd be healthy enough to play, and he's not playing, and they're desperate, and they're 1-5. This is clown, ridiculous, grade school sophomoric hijinks from John Harbaugh and an embarrassing Ravens organization. They are embarrassing for this. And it's embarrassing that they let Mike McDonald go coach the Seahawks and kept John Harbaugh. They will never win a Super Bowl with John Harbaugh as the head coach. Not another one. It ain't happening. So Tyler Huntley starts for Baltimore. For the Bears, they are down their top 6 corners. That's not good. If Lamar Jackson were playing, you could say, yeah, hell yeah, man. Ravens going to throw all over them. With Tyler Huntley, I'm not so sure. The Bears have actually been tremendous coming out of their bye week running the football. And Baltimore can't stop the run, whether the good players on defense play or not. I don't trust the Ravens. And the Ravens, maybe this closes 3. If it does, I'll bet Bears plus 3. I'll bet Chicago +3. And I'm gonna say something, and you might think it's crazy, and I don't really care. You may be right. I may be crazy. Better coach and quarterback in this game. I'll take Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams over John Harbaugh and Snoop Huntley. Yardage prop. Colston Loveland with Cole Kmet out over receiving yards. Just as an aside, every time I see Colston Loveland's name, I think of Loveless from Final Fantasy VII, like the play that's advertised throughout the game. That's just an excuse. I just love Final Fantasy VII and wanted to bring it up. Anytime touchdowns. Let's take a look at two number 2 tight ends. These are small money bets. Durham Smythe with Cole Kmet out for the Chicago Bears. Alistair's son, Durham Smythe, and Isaiah Likely for the Baltimore Ravens. Hopefully he'll be likely to score a touchdown. Texans and the Niners in Houston. Houston, a 2.5-point home favorite. I just want to do a refresh here, make sure that's right. Yep, total is 42. Brock Purdy out again for the Niners, which means Mac Jones. Who? Mac Jones. His cell phone number, 281-330-8004. Hit Mac Jones up on the low, because Mac Jones about to, Mac Jones starts for the Niners. Ricky Pearsall out. The Niners down more defensive players. Bryce Huff and Etur Gross-Matos on the defensive line. For Houston, Nico Collins is out with a concussion. Get him out of your fantasy lineups. Christian Kirk is out as well. Collins and Kirk both out for Houston. Now here's a bet that'll make you sick. I love the Texans in this game. Yes, and I bet Seattle on Monday night, and I did not like Houston coming into the year. I said before the year Houston might have the worst offensive line in the league, and they might have the worst offensive line in the league. But if there was a team that was not capable at this moment in time of taking advantage of a Swiss cheese Houston offensive line, it's San Francisco. Like Bosa's out, Warner's out, and now Huff and Gross-Matos are out. How are they getting a pass rush in this game, even with Houston's offensive line being as bad as it is? And on the flip side, the sin of this Houston Texans season is that they might have the best defense in the league. Our top 2 or 3 defense in the league, if it's not number 1. And the offense is so bad that they're going to miss the playoffs. But you know what? In this game, I actually think it's enough to get them over the finish line. I bet money line earlier in the week at a better price. It's actually minus 130 now. That's not terrible. Houston, minus 2.5. Houston on the money line. I do like the Texans against the Niners. Yardage props, you can look at both Houston rookie receivers, I think. Jaden Higgins and Jalen, the first Noel. We're like, by the way, I'm a big November 1st starts the Christmas season. We'll have Christmas music in my house on November 1st. I love Thanksgiving. To me, Thanksgiving is an appetizer for Christmas. Like stuffing before the turkey, if you will. So it's almost Christmas time, everybody. So if I can rip off a line from Chris Berman, and I rip off many, let me be the first to wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas season. So I like both Texans rookie receivers today. Anytime touchdowns. I do like Nick Chubb today. We'll talk about him in the fantasy segment. I'm expecting Houston to be playing with the lead. Braxton Berrios isn't a bad look for Houston. And I actually think the most mispriced player in the anytime touchdown market today is DeMarcus Robinson for San Francisco. He's plus 900 at BetMGM. Now, he could easily not score in the game, but he's going to play a lot, and he's plus 900. Normally, a player like this is plus like 450. The reason why, obviously, is Houston's defense is great. So, he could have 0 receiving yards in the game. I'm not painting this as a lock or close to it. I just think he's mispriced. I put a couple bucks down on DeMarcus Robinson to score a touchdown. Here's to you, DeMarcus Robinson. Honestly, that bit sucks. Imagine someone doing that even once in a show. To the NFC South we go. Bucks and the Saints in New Orleans. Tampa, a 3.5-point favorite. Total is 46.5. Chris Godwin out. Bucky Irving out. Hassan Reddick out. The Chronicles of. Vita Vea may miss this game as well. We'll talk about what that means for the spread in a second. Kendre Miller out for the season for New Orleans. Devin Neal is now the number 2 running back behind Alvin Kamara. So Baker Mayfield came back down to earth in a big way on Monday night against the Lions. I don't think he's going to win MVP, and I've been saying that for a long time. But even with that, I look at the Saints defense and the way they give up explosives down the field, And I think this is going to be a bounce-back game for Baker Mayfield. Even with Godwin out, Mike Evans also broken collarbone, going to miss most of the rest of the regular season, probably will come back if the Bucs make the playoffs. But I like Tampa's receiving group, and Baker is going to wing the ball down the field here, and I don't think New Orleans can stop it. I like Spencer Rattler, and Kellen Moore has been pretty good in his first season as coach in New Orleans. And the Saints have kind of been like a betting darling. Even if they don't cover spreads, they get bet every week. I don't want to bet the Saints here. Now, I don't want to lay 3.5 with Tampa either. If this goes down to 3, and if and when Vita Vea is ruled out for Tampa, we may get a 3, I would place a small bet on Tampa. So Tampa -3 is the bet that I want. I have no interest in laying the 3.5. Yardage props. How about the Tez dispenser? Tez Johnson over 42.5 receiving yards. Love that with the way Tampa's going to chuck the ball down the field to him and Emeka Egbuka. Anytime touchdowns, Cam Johnson for Tampa and Lorenzo's son, Devin Neal, the number 2 running back now for New Orleans. Anytime touchdown for the Saints. Colts and the Titans in Indianapolis. Wow. Indy, a 14.5-point home favorite. Total is 48. Calvin Ridley out for Tennessee. Jeffrey Simmons out for Tennessee. L'Jarius Sneed on injured reserve. Their best receiver, their best corner, and their best front 7 player all out. That's not good. Josh Downs returns for Indianapolis from a concussion. I mean, I don't know how the Titans are stopping the Colts here. Indy's, it's only been 7 weeks, but Indy's offense is on a historical pace. I want to stop short of being like, hey, this is going to be one of the best offenses ever. Like, there's still more than half the season to go. But, man, through 7 games, this is one of the best offenses ever. Literally ever. I'm not saying that it's going to be that way for the rest of the year, but through 7 games, that's where we're at. And Tennessee's defense stinks. How the hell are the Titans stopping the Colts? How's it happening? And on the flip side, I like Cam Ward in catch-up mode because Cam Ward is a young quarterback who is not afraid. Like, he would rather sling it into triple coverage than dirt the ball. That's just him. And I like that about him. And I think a lot of people like that about him. And I think it makes things interesting for the Titans to maybe backdoor this game. I don't want to lay the Colts. And it's the reason why I do like the over in the game. Over 48 for me with the Colts and the Titans. Yardage prop, Alec Pierce. Over 36.5 receiving yards. If you want to bet Jonathan Taylor to score, just bet him to score 2 or 3 touchdowns. He's the front runner for Offensive Player of the Year. And the Titans, after releasing Tyler Lockett earlier in the week, we'll talk about that and what it means for fantasy. Mason Kinsey should get some run today. Huge price to score a touchdown. He sounds like he would be like Mason Kinsey, like the female lead in the new Apple Plus show, whatever that is. Mason Kinsey, anytime touchdown. Again, like beer money bet, small money bet on these long shot touchdown prices. 2 more games. Broncos and the Cowboys in Denver. Denver, a 3.5-point home favorite, total 51. Trevon Diggs out for Dallas. Let me ask everybody a question. What's the best unit in this game? Obviously, you've got 2 choices. Denver's defense or Dallas's offense. I'd actually go with the Cowboys' offense. Like, they are all playing at a sick level. Dak, Javonte Williams in a revenge game, and he has said he's coming after the Broncos. After the Broncos discarded him this offseason. CeeDee Lamb comes back from injury, hasn't missed a beat. George Pickens has been great. Jake Ferguson has been great. We just saw the Broncos defense get lit up like a Christmas tree by Jackson Dart and the Giants. What else do we know? We know Denver's offense can score on this Dallas defense. The Dallas defense is atrocious. If you made me bet this game, I'd take the points with Dallas, but I want 3.5, not 3. If I had to, honestly, I would just bet Dallas to win the game if you like the Cowboys. And I do like the over. I think Dallas is going to be able to score enough, and Denver can certainly score on this pathetic Dallas defense. Over 51, and if you had to bet Dallas, I would just bet Dallas to win the game. Yardage prop. CD had a little Lamb, 75.5 receiving yards. I'm not scared of Patrick Surtain, not with the way he's playing. CeeDee Lamb, not Patrick Surtain. Anytime touchdowns. No one knows what it's like to be the bad man. to be the sad man behind blue eyes. Jaden Blue, Dallas's rookie running back, number 2 behind Javonte Williams. And let's take a look at the diet. Nate Adkins for the Denver Broncos. And finally, the Aaron Rodgers Bowl. Packers and the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Green Bay, a 3-point road favorite, total 45.5. And oh yeah, this is the good stuff. 16 years ago, October 2009, Brett Favre for the Vikings versus his understudy and his old team, Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. October 2025, Aaron Rodgers versus his former understudy and team, Jordan Love and Green Bay. You absolutely love it. As Joe Esposito sang in the 1984 smash hit, You're the Best Around, which was on the Karate Kid soundtrack, history repeats itself. Christian Watson returns here for the Green Bay Packers. Calvin Austin back for Pittsburgh. What? He's playing. What? He's not injured anymore. What? He's going to give it a go. What? He'll be out there in 2 receiver sets. What? Trying to catch passes from Aaron Rodgers. If you made me bet the side, I'd lay Green Bay, especially if it goes down to 2.5. Pittsburgh's defense is pathetic, and I don't think they can fix it. I don't think it's fixable. And I think it's going to cost Pittsburgh down the road because the offense with Rodgers has been really good. So make me bet the game. I'd lay Green Bay. If it goes to 2.5, I will lay Green Bay. But my preferred bet here is the over. I love you. Shout out to Bruce Pritchard and Brother Love. Jordan Love is going to hit explosives on the Steelers defense down the field. And on the flip side, piss and vinegar game from Aaron Rodgers against his former team. Arthur Smith going to employ the quick game to neutralize Micah Parsons and the Packers pass rush. Give me the over 45.5. Give me Jordan Love over 241.5 passing yards. And Connor Hayward to score a touchdown. The Steelers use all their tight ends. Let's bet the one at the longest price. That is Connor Hayward. Quick break. And on the other side, fantasy football breakdown and a deeper dive into prop bets for every game. 888-808-1019 is the number. 888-808-1019. It's You Better You Bet on the Fan with me, Nick Kostos, and you, whoever the hell you are, presented by BetMGM.
The home of the NFL on Westwood One is WFAN.
Cuts it up along the numbers and waltzes into the end zone.
The Commanders are heading to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. 8:15 tomorrow night.
It is right down the middle and good.
Monday Night Football is on the Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on the iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and Odyssey app.
Find excellence in every detail in a new Volvo. At Volvo Cars Ramsey, 8-time winner of the Volvo Excellence Award, you'll find excellent offers. Find our entire inventory at VolvoCarsRamsey.com. Find excellence at Volvo Cars Ramsey.
Did you know you can get more with New York Lottery Plus?
You pulling my leg?
No, seriously. Just enter scratch off and draw game tickets and get more points.
Pulling a fast one?
No. And you can put your points towards chances to win gift cards, cash prizes, and more.
Is this a stunt?
No, you even get points for playing new games.
You're pulling my chain, aren't you?
No.
Pulling my finger?
What? No. Man, put that thing away.
Sorry.
Introducing New York Lottery Plus. Download the app, sign up, get more. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Looking for the lowest price on name brand tires? Get to Town Fair Tire and get the guaranteed lowest price on any name brand tire. Nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire. Let's go.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Nobody had to tell your grandparents not to drive while using their typewriters. Why should it be any different for us kids and our cell phones? Distracted driving was the cause of more than 3,000 deaths in 2022. Come on, we're smarter than this. Let's put down the phones and focus on the roads. Drive safe, everybody.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
We're always talking New York sports on The Fan.
All your favorite NBA players are back. And DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is the place to bet on NBA stars this season. With more markets open for more of the game, DraftKings, the #1 sportsbook for live betting, is live when others aren't. New customers, bet just $5 and get 3 months of NBA League Pass. Plus, score $300 if your bet wins, paid in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WFAN. That's code WFAN. Bet $5 and get 3 months of League Pass, plus get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. 21 and over. New York only. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. NBA League Pass auto renews until canceled. Additional terms at dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Real sports talk for real fans with real opinions. The Fan, 101.9 FM and always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps. It's Sunday morning. Time to plug into everything NFL. Time for your best bets and fantasy fix. It's time for You Better You Bet, presented by BetMGM. Here's your host, Nick Kostos.
Indeed, it is I, Nick Kostos, here with you on The Fan. Glorious Week 8 NFL Sunday. 888-808-1019 is the number. 888-808-1019. All right. Fantasy and prop betting nuggets for every game on the board as we dive deep. How deep? We'll start with the Giants and the Eagles. Jackson Dart, with all the quarterbacks that are against 6 teams on bye this week, we have a couple starters that are out. I mean, Jackson Dart, I feel like if you're in like an 8-team league, Jackson Dart might not be started. Jackson Dart should be started in basically every single fantasy football league this week. Now, if you've got Cam Scatterbo, obviously you're starting him. But I'm a little nervous about Scatterbo moving forward just because Tyrone Tracy's starting to play as well. Tracy had the long touchdown run last week, obviously, against Denver. The fear is that both of them they both get a lot of work, and you can't really trust either. Scatterbo had been trending towards being like a locked-in, like running back one. I'm not sure we're there anymore. Obviously, you can still start Scatterbo. If you need Tracy, you can. I'm starting Tracy in a league where I need him today, but hard to feel confident about either. I think we've reached the point that you can trust Theo Johnson as a tight end streamer, especially in a week with a ton of guys on bye. For Philly, Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert, easy starts today with A.J. Brown out. I'm a little concerned about, I know a lot of people think this is a Saquon Barkley blow-up game coming up against his former team. With Cam Jurgens out, I can't get there. I mean, obviously, you're still starting Saquon Barkley. I'm just saying, I don't know if this is like a 130-yard game for Saquon. Falcons and the Dolphins. In case you missed it, Kirk Cousins will start for Atlanta. Michael Penix Jr. is out for this game. And I think that helps the Falcons' receiving core. Now, I actually want to look here because during the break, we had an update on Drake London. Okay, ESPN's Adam Schefter tweeted 8 minutes ago. Falcons will check in this morning at the stadium with Drake London to determine whether he can play against the Dolphins. Like, that sounds bad to me. Not that London is definitely going to miss the game, but that, like, he's in danger of missing the game. So, like, if you want to bet Atlanta, if you want to bet you have to wait. We're not going to know until 11:30 a.m. Eastern time when the actives and inactives come out. If London doesn't play, like, I think this is Darnell Mooney, pun intended here, to the moon for Atlanta. But if you've got London, like, don't risk this. Make sure you've got a backup. And make sure you're checking at 11:30. You can listen to my national show. Moose has you on Football Sunday on the Fan. You can turn notifications on Twitter. Make sure you're checking to make sure Drake London is playing or not playing in this game. Bijan is a smash. Tyler Algier's not 100%. I think Bijan goes off here. And for Miami, I mean, good luck. It's just Achane and Waddle. I don't even feel good about them. And I think Tua could, if you think Atlanta wins big, Tua's going to get benched, and you can take a look at his prop unders. Jets and the Bengals, the more I think about this game, the more I think the Jets might win. Maybe I should stop thinking. The Bengals get crushed by opposing tight ends. This could be a Mason Taylor game. Obviously, he's very difficult to trust, as is the Jets' offense. I think Justin Fields is going to have a big game here, and I could be way wrong, just my opinion. Breece Hall should be able to play well here against a brutal Bengals defense, and obviously for Cincy, you're starting Chase, Higgins, and running back Chase Brown. Patriots and the Browns. I don't know what's happening with Travion Henderson, but this is clearly Ramondre Stevenson's backfield. And in a game where they're favored by a touchdown at home, like he's locked into fantasy lineup, Stevenson is. You're holding Travion Henderson. You can start him if you need him. Do not drop him. I think he's really good. I do think his time is coming. But I mean, I've been saying that all season. And to be fair, I've been wrong. We'll see how it goes. For the Cleveland Browns, you are starting Quinshon Judkins, but temper your expectations against a tough Patriots run defense. Jerry Jeudy's been so bad with Dylan Gabriel. 22 targets, only 9 catches per our friends that established the run. I don't think you can trust any Browns pass catcher, but if you need, like, it's Jeudy and Njoku, and then Fannin, the rookie tight end, Harold Fannin. Bills and the Panthers, hit him with the Rico Dowdle, Chuba Hubbard. I like this Panthers offense. Like, Ted McMillan obviously is startable with Andy Dalton going to be playing quarterback. Xavier Legette has got a nice little rapport with Dalton, both last week when Dalton came into the game against the Jets and last season when Dalton played after Bryce Young got benched. I like Jalen Coker, too. I actually think all these Panthers are viable, which makes me a little nervous, but I do think that. The Bills have got to start throwing it more. Like, they're leaning on their run game, and, like, that's cool because James Cook's awesome. Maybe use, like, your all-world quarterback a little bit. I think this is a Khalil Shakir game with J.C. Horn likely to shadow Keon Coleman. So I do like Shakir. Dalton Kincaid back for Buffalo. He missed the Falcons game 2 weeks ago on Monday night. Bears and the Ravens. Chicago has morphed into a pretty good run offense here. I think you start DeAndre Swift. You feel good about it. Hold Luther Burden. He hasn't passed Olamide Zaccheaus yet on the depth chart to start in 3 receiver sets for Chicago, but hold Luther Burden. I think this is Colston Loveland week with Cole Kmet out. He's the 10th overall pick in the draft. I think they're going to start using him. And for Baltimore, like, you're starting Derrick Henry. I don't trust anything about what the Ravens are doing. I'm not saying sit Derrick Henry. Start him. Start Zay Flowers as well. I think Mark Andrews is going to get his workload eaten into by Isaiah Likely. I think you can start both if you need. Not on the same team, but I think Andrews is startable, and I think Isaiah Likely is startable by Mageddon with 6 teams on the bye. Niners and the Texans. I think San Francisco's up against it here a little bit. Against this Houston's defense, you're obviously starting Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle. For Houston, I like Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel in deeper leagues. And Woody Marks is Houston's number one running back now. I think we saw that on Monday night against Seattle. But they were playing from behind in that game. I think Houston's going to be playing from ahead. And I think when the Texans are playing from ahead, it's going to be Nick Chubb. And when they're playing from behind, it's going to be Woody Marks. And that's my guess as to how this will be divvied up. I think both are usable, but I do think Nick Chubb will score a touchdown today for the Texans. Bucks and the Saints. Tez Johnson, I think, is startable with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans out. Emeka Egbuka is obviously startable, as is Rashad White. For New Orleans, Kendre Miller, number 2 running back, is out for the year. Stash Devin Neal where you can. He's the Saints' number 2 running back. If Alvin Kamara gets hurt, he's the Saints' number 1. Rashid Shaheed is being mentioned in trade rumors. Maybe they'll showcase him today. Tampa's secondary is burnable down the field. And obviously you are starting Chris Olave. Oh. Titans and the Colts. This Colts offense absolutely rules. Daniel Jones, start him. Jonathan Taylor, start him. Start Tyler Warren. You start Michael Pittman. You start Alec Pierce. You can start Josh Downs as well. I love me some Alec Pierce. The Titans released Tyler Lockett this week. Their 3 wide receiver set moving forward will be 2 rookies. Alec Iamaner, he's on the outside. Chimere Dike, who scored last week in the slot. And Van Jefferson on the outside. Do whatever you want with that information. Tony Pollard is holding off Tyjae Spears for now as Tennessee's number 1 running back. But with Tennessee going to play from behind in this game, I think Tyjae Spears is a really nice option, especially in PPR or half-point PPR. Cowboys and the Broncos. You can start all your Cowboys even against the tough Broncos defense. Dak, Javonte, Lamb, Pickens, and Jake Ferguson. Make sure you are stashing Jaden Blue, Dallas's number 2 running back, the rookie out of Texas. For Denver, obviously you're starting J.K. Dobbins. I love Bo Nix today against this Dallas defense. It's hard to trust anyone in the Broncos wide receiving group outside of Cortland Sutton. Last week, Marvin Mims popped. This is why he's hot. This week, it could be Troy Franklin. It could be Pat Bryant. It could be Evan Ingram. Spin the wheel, make a deal. I have no idea who it's going to be. Do whatever the hell you want. And for the Packers and the Steelers, I love all the Packers today. Love, Jacobs, Golden, Kraft, Dobbs. You could even go with Christian Watson if you need him against a brutal Steelers defense. And for Pittsburgh, Jalen Warren is holding off Kenneth Gainwell right now, but make sure Kenneth Gainwell is owned in all leagues. I do like Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, and Stone Cold Calvin Austin. My best bets today, Panthers +7 or 7.5, Texans against the Niners, and the over on Sunday Night Football. And that does it for the Week 8 NFL Sunday edition of You Better You Bet on The Fan. Football Sunday with my friend Mark Malusis is coming up next. So until we meet again, dear listener, on these airwaves next Sunday morning at 8 a.m., I'm on the national edition of You Better You Bet coming up at 11 this morning, and the weekday show 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Follow me on Instagram at the Kostos, TheKostos. Until then, I'm Nick Kostos wishing you minimal sweats, winning bets, the absolute very best of luck. Let's get it today, Week 8, NFL Sunday.
Get the latest on the Giants and Jets on WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York.